Hi guys! So this is a video that I have actually recorded multiple times and deleted. This one is a hard one for me. I want to make a video and talk about my last pregnancy with Carter. A year ago, I was on bed rest and dealing with a lot of uncertain issues. In my pregnancy with Carter, one of the many conditions that I had was dealing with and was diagnosed with was a condition called Accreta. Now, Accreta is something that I think is becoming more and more common, but not really known about. I don't think a lot of women know about what this is or have never even heard of this condition. Accreta is where the placenta in a pregnancy starts to attach too deeply into the uterine wall, essentially like a tumor. There are 3 stages. There's Accreta, which is the beginning stages where it attaches too deeply into the uterine wall and will not detach easily after birth. Accreta, which is where it starts to invade into the uterine wall. Accreta is where it can actually go through the uterine wall and attach to bladder, bowel, abdominal walls, causing reconstructive surgery to be necessary at delivery. Thankfully, mine stayed within the Accreta stage. Now, because I was diagnosed with this, that meant that my chances of hemorrhaging at his birth, even with a C-section, were magnified immensely. I was not able to stay in the care of my doctor and my hospital here where I live. I had to be referred to what is called a maternal fetal medicine specialist. These doctors take care of pregnant women with hard, complicated pregnancies. So I was referred to one of these specialists and actually had to be scheduled for a delivery prematurely at 34 weeks, a few hours away from home in a big hospital full of specialists. My delivery was filled with an entire team of doctors, including cancer doctors, because the placenta growing through and into your uterine wall and through the uterine wall acts essentially like cancer and a tumor in the vessel system and things like that. So a cancer doctor was actually there to try to help dissect things away from where they shouldn't be. I was scheduled to deliver at 34 weeks after having been life-flighted the week before that down to a hospital in Salt Lake City for blood pressure issues. And Carter was given steroids. He was given the best chance at an early delivery that he could have been given. The team of doctors being there for my type of delivery and an Accreta or Accreta delivery are essential. Diagnosis beforehand is key. If I had not been diagnosed beforehand and had gone in for a regular C-section at my local hospital, chances are that I would not have had a great outcome. They often have 6+ units of blood available. Women often in these surgeries at delivery lose multiple units of blood, often their blood volume many times over. Unfortunately, there are many women who do not survive this condition, and if you are currently going through it and you have been diagnosed, you are definitely on the stronger side of survival. I don't say that to scare anybody or to make it sound dramatic or dramatized. It's the facts. The facts are that this condition takes a lot of lives, unfortunately. Being diagnosed ahead of time gives you the best chance at a great outcome. And a lot of women who are diagnosed beforehand come out of this on the safe side and their survivor side. During my delivery, I was not awake for his birth. I had to be put under because there were many steps taken before his birth could even be done. I have a scar here on the side of my neck where I had a central line put in so that in the circumstance that I needed units of blood or blood delivered back to me, that they could easily, quickly do that. I wear this scar with pride and also a little bit of sadness. It reminds me of a scary time in my life, a time when I was uncertain if I would be here to be a mother to my other 3 children and my newborn baby, and my husband have a wife, and I spent many weeks and many months wondering if that would be the outcome, wondering, should I write letters, should I find ways to prepare them in case I don't make it through this type of surgery, all while trying to kind of keep it in and not I didn't share a lot of what I was going through, because I think that there was a lot of me that felt that people didn't understand. Even close family with the best of intentions, I don't feel, my husband even couldn't really understand what it was that I was going through. When a doctor looks at you in the face and says, Jamie, you are walking a fine line between life and death, it wakes you up. It's scary. It's not something that you ever imagine happening when you are going through one of the most wonderful things of life, becoming a mother. I get asked a lot of the time, is this something that you would have done if you had known that your risk was high? I don't have the answer. I don't know. I don't know if I would. That being said, I do know that I would give my life for my baby. So I can't really answer that question, but I do know that I will spend whatever time that I have available being there for women going through this, being there for women who have gone through this, and also helping raise awareness for this condition so that other women are educated and can make that informed decision. Now, what causes Accreta was one of the questions that I asked my doctor. Was it something that I did? Was it something that was wrong with me because I felt like it was my fault that my baby was going to be premature, that he wasn't growing the way that he needed to be, and that things weren't going the way that they should. So a lot of the time in first pregnancies, this happens. No prior uterine surgery, none of the risk factors that normally stand. It just happens. Your chances are increased if you have had uterine surgeries. Things like D&Cs, C-sections, any type of uterine surgery that can cause some type of scar tissue. Now in my case, this was my 4th C-section, and the placenta did attach to my scar tissue of my prior C-sections. My C-sections were life-saving. They were not something that I chose. My first son was born at 32 weeks by an emergency C-section because I had severe preeclampsia and we had lost his heartbeat. And my second, I tried to do VBAC, was unsuccessful, and that meant after 2 C-sections, you were automatically in for C-sections for the rest of your deliveries. So, if you're considering having an elective C-section, I encourage you to understand the risks involved with future pregnancies and make an informed decision. I am not here to judge you. I am not here to tell you that the decisions that you have made have caused this, because I don't feel that way. I am here only to support and give love to those who have been through my experience or are going through my experience, or simply just want to know more. Education is key in getting this out and sharing this and letting women know that this is out there. It does exist, and these are the risk factors, and be aware of it. One of the things that was essential to getting me through this journey was a Facebook support group. This group of women is fantastic. It is filled with all ends of the spectrum. Women going through the journey, women who have been through the journey, and unfortunately, the memory of some of the women who have not survived. I will put a link down below to that Facebook group, and I hope that if you are looking for comfort or encouragement, or you're just needing some support right now, that you will go there and that you will open your heart to these women and that you will allow them to take care of you the way that they took care of me. And if you would like to personal message me, I'm happy to be there for you, to support you. It is part of how I feel that I will heal from this. I survived Accreta, and I am on the other side of it. But unfortunately, post-traumatic stress disorder, PTSD, is something that often accompanies this type of condition, because it is such a scary period of time for our pregnant moms and for us going through it, and we deal with it. And I don't talk about this. I talk about parts of it, but I don't talk about the deep internal things. And I think talking about it and getting it out for me is going to be essential in my healing process. A lot of the time, women who go through this also come out with postpartum depression. And postpartum depression, I am finding more and more common with a hysterectomy delivery. I'm not sure why. I don't know if there's anything medically to it. I don't know if it's accompanied with the stress of having a complicated delivery. I don't know. But it is real, and it hit me, and it hit me hard. And it was unexpected, and I didn't know how to deal with it at the time. And I'm so grateful for my mother and my husband who were there for me and who helped me get the help that I needed to make it to a healthy state. I still feel like that part of delivery, whether you go through a completely normal delivery or an extremely complicated delivery, needs to also be talked about and shared, and that women need to not be ashamed that they are feeling that way after a delivery of a child. I encourage you, if you are feeling those feelings, that you get help, that you speak with your doctor, your spouse, anybody who will listen to you. Get the help that you need, because things can get better, and they will. I just wanted to make this video in hopes that you would share it, that you would spread the message, that you would help encourage people to get to know this condition, and that they would understand. I intend to make more follow-up videos of more in-depth parts of my journey that I went through, and in hopes that I can allow people to understand what it was that I went through, and why I feel the way that I feel now, and why I am so passionate about sharing my story and sharing this condition with the world. So I hope that if you are currently going through this, that you know that there is hope, that things can turn out wonderful, that things can be great, that there is support for you, that we are here for you, that we want to help you get through to the survivor side. And that if you have been on this journey and you're simply looking for comfort of somebody who understands and knows what it is that you went through and are going through, that you will reach out, and that you will let me support you and love you through your healing process. I wish you the best. I hope that everything turns out wonderful for you guys, and that we get many beautiful babies out of these sad situations. I love you. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Bye, guys.